My name is Dan Hatch, and my wife and I were Peace Corps volunteers with Fiji 1, the first group to go to Fiji. We were trained in Hawaii in the fall of '67 and went into country all of '68 and '69. I was in agricultural extension, and my wife was a school teacher, and we were initially stationed on the island of Moala, which is about 100 miles southeast of Suva.
How long had you been married before you decided to join the Peace Corps?
We'd been married for 2 years before.
And how did this idea of joining the Peace Corps come up?
Oh, it was something I was interested in. I'd known about the Peace Corps since its beginning. My brother had been a volunteer in, I think, third group in Africa, in Tanganyika at that time, which then became Tanzania. A cousin had gone in, same age as my brother, about the same time, and he'd been Dahomey.
Okay. My name is Wayne Schreiber, and I served with the Peace Corps in Fiji from 1969 to 1971. And when I look back, I had a really great time visiting these friends, other Fijians and other Indians, by touring around the island. And we used to hitchhike from one side of the island to the other. Fiji in 1970 was rather primitive in its transportation. We used to go on these dirt roads, hitchhike from one village to another, visiting other Peace Corps volunteers, and visiting Fijians and Indians that we knew along the way. It was a great time for fellowship, and a great time to really learn about different cultures.
Hello, my name is Tom Junker, just like something you throw away, 6 letters, J-U-N-K-E-R. I say that for clarification. Served in the Peace Corps twice, both times with my wife, the same person each time. The first time we were in Fiji Islands from '72 until '74. The second year of those two, we were in a place called Rotuma. It's politically, economically, and educationally aligned with Fiji. You'll find it on most maps and globes because there's nothing nearby except a rock that sticks out of the surface of the ocean about 300 miles from Rotuma.
Mike Meyer and
Elaine Trebetowski.
We were together in the Peace Corps in Fiji Islands, in
1974 through 1976.
And we were both teaching in the same high school. I taught math and science.
And I taught social studies, geography, art.
The people were great. We were very much welcomed by not only the faculty, but the students and the parents. And I think some of the greatest things we did was when we were invited to the homes of students for festivals, and through the homes of fellow teachers that took us into the countryside.
And we had the privilege of getting to know 2 cultures, because Fiji is both Indian from India and also the native Fijians.
And it was fascinating with the Indians too, because we had both the Islamic religion and the Hindu religion in the Indian culture. Of course, the Fijians had a lot of their native religion, and of course Christianity, mostly Methodists. But going to a Sunday service in Fiji, it was really fun, because the Fijians really got into it. They were, this great music, everybody dressed up, and everybody had good food.
And it was just a wonderful experience.
And we both learned how to speak Fijian to a pretty good degree. The fun part was to go to the market and buy fish and vegetables from the women that were doing most of the selling of the agricultural products.
My name is Denise Gordon. I was sent to Fiji 1976 to 1978 as a science teacher for the government.
Simpson, and I was in the Fiji Islands 76 to 79, and I was a library educator. I was the last member of Fiji 26 out of the country, and I was there living in and around Suva, the capital. Well, yeah, I can tell you one. It was the early days of videotape, and they would, at the Peace Corps office in downtown Suva, they would occasionally send us these videotapes of what other Peace Corps volunteers were doing. And here we are drinking Fiji bitter beer, sitting under the palm trees, looking at these kids in the middle of Africa with tsetse flies, digging wells, and thinking, you know, this is not the toughest job I've ever loved.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
I'm Ann Baker, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Fiji from 85 to 87. And I had an astronomy club as an after-school program, which is kind of hard to do because the after-school is all during the daylight hours, so I'm trying to tell them about astronomy and getting to see what the stars and the constellations. We had a lunar eclipse while I was there, which was great. But that all happened in the middle of the night. But to then, again, walk down the street in my community and have a parent come up to me, and it was in the evening one time, and he looked up and he said, "Is that Orion?" And he picked it up, obviously, from his daughter, who was in the astronomy club. So it did have an impact beyond the school, and it was just so exciting to be there. It wasn't easy, teaching science with no lab equipment. It really actually taught me more about physics, and I had a degree in physics. But I learned so much from them and about myself and from the community, and it was just an amazing experience.
Kelvin Shelton. I was in the Fiji Islands 1985 to 1987, and one of the most remarkable things that happened is I brought back this woman right here as my wife. Her name is Rada, and we had this young lady right here. This is Anika, our daughter. We also have a son, Aaron Andrew Shelton, and he is in the United States Marine Corps.